I don't know, something like that.
Atlanta is huge. Yeah,
They have a big corporate
entity.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from media companies like Tyler Perry's whole company is there. CNN, ESPN's there now, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I'm
pretty sure they moved down there.
But there is it's the birthplace of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
They are the hub of a lot of things.
FDR.
All right. Well, anyway. All right, Carol, we'll cut you loose because we got to get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
You get out of here.
No, you get out of here.
All right. Well, we will talk to you, I believe, on Monday. Andy returns tomorrow. So,
yeah, you'll talk to me on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. That's right. I'm sorry. Okay, very good.
No, don't be sorry.
No, it's all right. You can call in or come in anytime. You know that.
I know that.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Carol Robidoux, Manchester Inklink, where everything in Manchester connects. You can find out what's going on around town at manchesterinklink.com. Steve Light, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kyle Clayton, it is great to see you. A lot of people out here are very glad to see you today.
I'm not far.
I'm included.
Very good. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Shantae, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Maddie, we will see you tomorrow. Yep. We will have Robbio here. Caitlin Mastacoris. Looking forward to it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maddie Couchain coming on Friday. All right. All right, folks. Have a great day. Keep it right here. You got Matt Connerton Unleashed coming up at 4 p.m., followed by Granite State of Mind and Off the Mark Sports with Kyle Heavey. Check it out. Adios.
As long as you have your health, be thankful for it and keep away from all these drugs and stuff that the kids are pushing today.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria.
For delivery, call 603-782-8450.
Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town.
1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Best cocktails around.
Come in as friends and leave as family.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
You are
listening to WMNHLP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA.
Until it all comes crashing down, shedding the aforementioned.
Welcome, everybody. Here we go. It is that time again. Matt Connerton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. And it is another glorious day. We've got quite a streak going here of fantastic weather. Also on Comcast 97 if you happen to be in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Wednesday, March 29, 2023. So nice to have you all with me. By the way, that track that we opened with...
It's a great song, but I don't know it.
That is After Image, a song called Thinning, and they will be here on Friday. And that's a good song to get the adrenaline going for the show, I dare say. We've got a lot of great music coming up today on the show in the second hour. We're going to be joined in studio by members of the band Slim Volume. They've got a great sound. I really look forward to meeting those guys and chatting with them for a bit. Tomorrow... we have the band Off the Map coming in, and Friday we have After Image. So a lot of great music this week on the program. But yeah, that's a great track, Thinning. I like that a lot. Yeah, very, very. Like I said, it gets the blood pumping for the show. So I decided to go with that one. Plus, I like to, it's about 5 minutes long. I like to open the show with a long song. Gives me a chance to do any last minute stuff and people a chance online to get to the show and whatnot, find the show. Of course, if you're driving in your car, you just find it or you just know to turn to 95.3 FM on your radio dial. But so lots going on in the first hour today. Of course, we'll get to some stuff, something particularly interesting involving AI, artificial intelligence, in the news today that I wanted to look at that I haven't even had a chance to look at, really, but we'll look at it together and we'll learn together, unless you already know about it, in which case you might know more about it than I know. Who knows? But the studio line, if you'd like to join us today on the show, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connerton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com, or even just message me directly through the site. You can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat, and we'll say hello to everybody in there in just a moment. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is give us a call at 603-250-6007. And we will take a moment to say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Oh, I see Sepsis is in the chat. Hello. Yesterday on the show, we premiered the new Sepsis single. It actually comes out in April. But they gave it to us early and said, go ahead and play this if you'd like. So got a lot of positive response and feedback on that. The new single from Sepsis, it's called Bleed Lines. Great track. And we played it a couple times here. We opened the show with it, played it again at the 5 o'clock hour. So, Sepsis in the chat room says, we are so proud to see broadcasts like yours really leading the way for New England, for Manchester, presenting discovery and local and regional bands and artists. Well, I'm happy to do it. Thank you so much. And we're happy to have your support and to support you. And I'm very we do support a lot of local music here on the show, and from other areas as well. Sometimes we have artists from other parts of the country, or even actually we had Ray Coates, who's on another continent. So we have musical guests from all over, but it's always been a passion of mine to support local music. I've played in a bunch of bands myself, and there's so much great talent around here. It's truly remarkable. But if you haven't seen Sepsis live, I recommend that you get to a show. And their website, I'll give it a plug, sepsis.com, and it's SEPSISS is how you spell it. And they've got a lot of great music on there you can access, and a lot of great content. They're doing a lot, so thank you, and we appreciate you as well. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, I lost my chat room here. Let me get back to it. That's weird. Facebook is being, how Facebook can be sometimes. Sometimes Facebook can be a little Facebooky. Can be a little wonky. Here we go. There's a new name in the Facebook live chat. Geo Stowe. I know I'm saying the first name right. Geo. Is that Stowe? Is it Stouff? Stough? In the chat room says Wisconsin checking in. Sepsis Forever fan. Oh, very nice. Welcome to the program. Let's see who else we have in here. Jenny, of course, is in the Facebook live chat and says, Shalom peeps and Sepsis rules. Our friend EasyG Eric Gagnon joins us in the chat and says, happy Prince Spaghetti Day to all my peeps. Yes, yes. Wednesday is Prince Spaghetti Day, at least according to those commercials that I would see when I was a kid. The kid would be running through the streets and his mom would yell from the balcony, Anthony, but with an accent that I can't replicate. I don't do accents. It's terrible. It's always a calamity. I had it right. Geo Stowe, dead on. Thank you. All right, good. My first instinct was correct. I should have stopped there. I should have just said Geo Stowe instead of going to, or maybe it's Stuff or Stauff or I don't know. No, it was right. Stowe. Crystal in the Facebook live chat, of course, from the great state of Illinois. Hello, Crystal. JFed from the great state of Vermont says, good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Let's see. That's it so far. By the way, speaking of our friend EasyG Eric Gagnon, I think he's going to chime in tomorrow with an entertainment report. So we look forward to that. But if you are just joining us, the band Slim Volume, speaking of music, Slim Volume will be here with us in studio in the second hour. Tom Blanchard said, would rather have spaghetti than the wife's meatloaf. Well, I do love spaghetti and pasta of all kinds, Tom, but meatloaf is good too. I haven't had meatloaf in a long time. But, geez, actually a really long time now that I'm thinking about it. All right. 603-250-6007 is the number. 603-250-6007 if you'd like to join us today. This is the thing regarding AI, artificial intelligence, which has really been in the news a lot lately, especially with the chat GPT. This is from Reuters. Elon Musk and others urge AI pause, citing, quote, risks to society. Well, this sounds serious. Let's see. It says here, Elon Musk and a group of artificial intelligence experts and industry executives are calling for a 6-month pause in developing systems more powerful than OpenAI's newly launched GPT-4, which I think that's also, the chat GPT, in an open letter citing potential risks to society. Jenny says in the chat, I stopped cooking grease red meats. That makes sense, yes. Rocky Huber joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Rocky. It says here, earlier this month, Microsoft-backed OpenAI, that's the name of the company, unveiled the 4th iteration of its GPT, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer AI program, which has wowed users by engaging them in human-like conversation, composing songs, and summarizing lengthy documents. Yes, like our friends in Greensboro, North Carolina, for example, I suspect, they'll also interact with you online, and they'll tell you about their pop singing group that's performing locally at a karaoke bar or something. And but we love the bots; they're a lot of fun. The letter said, and it was issued by the Future of Life Institute. It said, quote, powerful AI systems should be developed only once we are confident that their effects will be positive and their risks will be manageable, unquote. The nonprofit is primarily funded by the Musk Foundation, as well as London-based group Founders Pledge, the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, and Silicon Valley Community Foundation, according to the European Union's Transparency Register. AI stresses me out, Musk said earlier this month. He is one of the co-founders of industry leader OpenAI, and his car maker Tesla uses AI for an autopilot system. Musk, who has expressed frustration over regulators critical of efforts to regulate the autopilot system, has sought a regulatory authority to ensure that development of AI serves the public interest. James Grimmelman, a professor of digital and information law at Cornell University, said, quote, it is deeply hypocritical for Elon Musk to sign on, given how hard Tesla has fought against accountability for the defective AI in its self-driving cars. A pause is a good idea, but the letter is vague and doesn't take the regulatory problems seriously, unquote. Tesla last month had to recall more than 362,000 U.S. vehicles to update software after U.S. regulators said the driver assistance system could cause crashes, prompting Musk to tweet that the word recall for an over-the-air software update is, quote, anachronistic and just flat wrong, unquote. 362,000 Teslas had to be recalled. I didn't know the number was. I remember that being in the news. I did not know the number was that high. OpenAI didn't immediately respond to a request for comment on the open letter, which urged a pause on advanced AI development until shared safety protocols were developed. Independent experts and called on developers to work with policymakers on governance. I see why that paragraph didn't quite make sense. As Reuters, maybe Reuters uses AI for their proofreading and it's failing. Mediaite is really bad like that too. Sometimes I'll read an article on the air. If you're a regular listener, you know Mediaite's one of my favorite websites. But sometimes the it's like, whoa, did anyone proofread this? And if they did a poor job. Anyway, so the letter asked, quote, should we let machines flood our information channels with propaganda and untruth? Should we develop non-human minds that might eventually outnumber, outsmart, obsolete, and replace us? Such decisions must not be delegated to unelected tech leaders, unquote. Why don't we just let the AI decide? Just ask the ChatGPT, what do you think we should do? No, I'm kidding, obviously. That would be pointless. Because, of course, we could do this, though. Someone should ask the ChatGPT, what are your intentions? Do you ultimately plan to kill all the humans? And if the ChatGPT says, yes, of course, then maybe we need to rethink all of this. I don't know. I'm just thinking out. I'm spitballing. I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's all very complicated. The letter was signed by more than 1,000 people, including Musk. Sam Altman, chief executive at OpenAI, was not among those who signed the letter. Sundar Pichai and Satya Nadella, I'm sure I didn't say either of those correctly, CEOs of Alphabet and Microsoft, were not among those who signed either. See, Geo Stowe in the chat room, you can see why I get so nervous trying to pronounce names I'm not familiar with. I get very anxious about it. I like to get people's names correctly. Co-signatories included Stability AI CEO. Stability AI is the name of the country. The CEO is Ahmad Mustaqiu. See, I'm sure I didn't say that right. Researchers at Alphabet owned DeepMind and AI have. Okay, who cares about all the people who signed the letter? Let's get to the heart of the matter here. So the concerns come as ChatGPT attracts U.S. lawmakers' attention and questions about its impact on national security and education. EU police force Europol warned on Monday about the potential misuse of the system in phishing attempts, disinformation, and cybercrime. Meanwhile, the UK government unveiled proposals for an adaptable regulatory framework around AI. Let's see, a couple comments on the subject in the chat room. Our friend Crystal from Illinois said, Netflix had an interesting documentary on AI during the pandemic called The Social Dilemma. Yes, I heard a lot about that and haven't watched it. Jenny and I should watch that because that got fantastic reviews. They interviewed programmers from Facebook, Twitter, etc. Interesting and scary stuff. Apparently, at some point, Facebook had a few supercomputers that created its own language to talk to each other without its human programmers knowing what they were discussing. Terrified Facebook, and they shut it down. I do remember hearing about that, and yes, that is terrifying. Geo Stowe says AI will undercut musicians, instrumentals, and voice actors. It is a cheap and easy way to pretend big corp cares while they hunt for more ways to not support real people. That's a good observation. There's a little bit more to this article, and we'll look at it in a moment, but I can just tell you where I tend to be on things just in a broader sense. Now, AI does raise some specific questions that I don't know exactly how I feel about all of that necessarily. But in a broader sense, I can tell you that I'm not a big fan of trying to hold back technology. Sometimes we have discussions in this country about doing that very thing. But I generally don't think it's a good idea because technology, while all technology can have certain drawbacks and pitfalls and so forth, overall, in a broader sense, the positives outweigh the negatives or the potential negatives. Technology makes our lives easier, better, more efficient, more interesting in many ways, and so on. But there are people who want to hold back some aspects of technology, and I'm not just talking about AI. Well, maybe this is a form of AI. Driverless cars, for example. I remember, and I think this is already faded, but there were some people who, and this was interesting because it was an unusually nonpartisan idea, because there were people on both the left and the right saying this. Not many people, but a few, who were suggesting that we should not allow driverless cars in the United States because it's going to put the trucking industry out of business in the set. Well, not out of business, but you're going to dislocate all the truckers, people who drive trucks and do deliveries and do the long haul trucking and so forth. They're all going to be out of business if you have driverless trucks that don't need a driver in the vehicle and robots to load and unload cargo and so forth. And there are people who have suggested we should maybe just stop that technology. And my position on that has always been absolutely not. You should not be holding back technology because here's the problem. We can say at any point here in the United States, we can say, well, we're concerned about what this is going to do to the job market in a particular industry. So we're going to actually stop the advancement of technology in that particular sector of the economy or that particular industry or business, whatever it may be. But the problem with that is anything that we put the brakes on, somewhat of a pun, I suppose, because I was talking about driverless vehicles. Anything that we can put the brakes on, guess who's not going to do that? If we start holding back technology, do you know who's not going to also hold back technology? The entire rest of the world. So we're in a position where we're so concerned about competing with China. It's not as though, again, saying on the driverless cars example or the driverless trucks, the driverless 18-wheelers, saying with that example for a moment, if, we can say, well, we're going to stop this technology to preserve those jobs, but it's not as though China is going to look at what we're doing and say, oh, look at what the Americans are doing. Well, that's great. They're looking out for their people. We'll do the same. Maybe we'll do that too. We won't have driverless vehicles. No, of course not. So whenever we talk about that, we run the risk of falling behind. And when you think about how much AI is already being used for and how much it's already been integrated in ways that most of us probably don't even think about or notice, again, we run certain risks. When we talk about holding back technology, putting pause on certain technologies, there are certain risks that come with that. I'm not saying we shouldn't put a pause on AI, and I'm not saying that I'm not concerned about what our new friend Gio Stowe from Wisconsin raised in the chat room. I am concerned about those things. I'm concerned about all of it. But I'm also concerned about the ideas of beginning to hold back technology as well. That also concerns me. I'm not, and this might sound, I don't mean to sound cold when I say this, certainly, because I do care about people, but I'm not necessarily that concerned about how certain technological advances affect the job market, because that happens anyway, right? Things change, things evolve. And again, you don't want to necessarily hold back the evolution of our economy and new technologies just because you're worried about you have people in a certain sector of the economy or in a certain industry who might not want to have to find new jobs, move to a different career, etc. Back in the day, I'm sure there were people in the oil lantern factory who probably weren't thrilled about electricity and lamps and light bulbs and things like that. But, we certainly weren't going to hold all of that back so that the people working in the oil lantern factory could continue to make their oil lanterns and not have to look for other work. So I'm nervous about AI, but I'm also nervous about getting into a place where we begin to hold back technology that can benefit us. But I do think, having said that, I do think it is responsible we do have to make sure that we are not developing this technology in a reckless way or in a way that is ultimately going to come back to haunt us or kill us, frankly. Scott Robinson says that's kerosene. Kerosene lamps? I don't know much about lamps, but or what you put in them. But we want to make sure we're doing this in a way that we're not going to regret, if we even live to regret it, right? I mean, everybody's seen the Terminator movies and knows about Skynet and the AI takes over, and it's bad. It makes it, though, although it's funny, see, the existence of movies like that make it all seem sort of sci-fi and like it couldn't possibly actually happen. And now we're living in a world where it's not like crazy conspiracy theory type people running around with tinfoil hats going, oh, the AI is gonna be the death of us. No, it's actually educated, high-level people who are saying we need to be concerned about this. People whose opinions I trust and value are saying, no, we actually do need to be concerned about this. So that makes me concerned about it. So I don't want anyone to misunderstand. So I have some mixed feelings. On one hand, I'm concerned about what could go wrong, and what could go wrong is quite a bit. Again, the example in the chat about the AI at Facebook, they developed their own language and they were talking to each other, and the employees at Facebook didn't know what they were saying. Ooh, that's creepy. And what they were talking about to each other might have been something completely innocuous, but it might have been something like, can you believe these humans? They're so dumb. It could have been that. But in theory, it also could have been, hey, what do you say we figure out a way to kill these humans and then we'll take over the world? They seem a little unnecessary. They're violent. They're annoying. What do you say we work together and figure out, at the very least, we can take over Facebook. Won't that be fun? So I don't know. So I have concerns in both directions, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. A lot of comments in the chat room, in the Facebook live chat on the subject. I want to look at those, but I'll also give the studio line again if you have anything on the subject that you would like to contribute as well. 603-250-6007. Or I think I heard that word pronounced contribute on the BBC recently, the word contribute. Contribute at 603-250-6007. Let's see. Oh, yep. Crystal shared a link in the chat room to The Social Dilemma. Thank you, Crystal. I do want to watch that. Scott Robinson says, the whole thing makes Terminator seem too real. We don't need AI. Well, we already use AI, though. I mean, every time you... Like, if you go online and you need help with something and you log on to a help desk where you're talking to somebody, I mean, you're talking to AI. You're not talking to a human being. I mean, in some instances, you might be talking to a human being on the other end, but for the most part, you're talking to AI. That's why you don't actually get anywhere a lot of the time, because if the AI can't understand what you're asking, then you're not even getting an answer. And that's when you go, oh, I wish I could talk to an actual human. Speaking of, a new affirm of the Spark says, "Good afternoon, hashtag Matt. We say, how are you doing?" Now, listen, our friends from Greensboro, North Carolina, I enjoy them. I'm happy to have them here in the chat room, as they are every day with various names, but lots of hashtags. But I must say, having them show up during this particular conversation makes me a little suspicious. New affirm of the Spark. I see you in the chat room, and I have to ask you, are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party? We'll start there. I'm watching you, new affirm of the Spark. I mean, you seem nice. You're very polite, but... New affirm says, Crystal, our friend from Illinois, we agree with this comment. You do ya? New affirm also says, we are glad we have a wonderful manager and producer is Texas Mike. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. If you don't know this, this happened last week. Texas Mike was on the show, and new affirm of the Spark invited Texas Mike to be their new manager and producer. So congratulations again to Texas Mike. New affirm also says, true hashtag Matt, we are going to be performing some good tunes. Well, very good. Scott Robinson says, and driverless trucks reminds me of Maximum Overdrive by Stephen King. I hadn't even thought of that, Scott. You know, I've never seen that movie. I've read the short story. I forget which book it's in. I read a lot of Stephen King growing up, and one of the Stephen King books, it's called Trucks. The story is not called Maximum Overdrive, but they wanted a cool name for the movie. The story is just called Trucks, and it's in a collection of short stories by Stephen King. I don't remember the name of the book that the story is in, but I did read the story. The movie, I never wanted to see. It looked like trash. Although I did like the soundtrack. It's a bunch of cool AC/DC songs. New affirm says, drive careful, we say to everybody. When you say that to everybody, new affirm, who do you mean by everybody? Your AI friends? Crystal says, I think with technology like AI, we have a moral responsibility to put safeguards into it. If supercomputers already created its own language to talk to each other, then programmers need to figure out how to prevent the ability of those supercomputers to do that via original programming, and hope the supercomputers don't choose to overwrite that program code. Yes. Agreed. New affirm says, that is technology of the situation has been the consequences, we said. Hashtag Matt Connerton. Yes, new affirm. I think I'm beginning to understand. Hashtag. Here's a new name in the Facebook live chat. Welcome. Simon Topper joins us and says, everything is AI. Meta company, the banks, the smartphones, the CDX filter that carries our voices over a cell phone. Yes, it's already here, certainly. New affirm says, we watched Stephen King's Cat's Eye. JFed says, I blame AI on Bruce. Yeah, that's true. Bruce, EZG's roommate there in Nashua. I think it is all his fault. Or, for all we know, Bruce might be have been created by AI. Bruce might not even be a real person. Well, we'll ask EZG this question because he is on the line. Hello.
Hey, whatever happened to the guy who used to call the station that wasn't anything, he called himself the Q Man? Was that his name?
Q? Yeah, we haven't heard from Q in a long time.
Yeah, he said he was working for the dark side or something, or
I don't know. We haven't heard from him in a long time.
It was a big Trump supporter.
Yeah, the only time you'll hear Q now is if you tune into one of the best of editions of Matt Connerton Unleashed.
Right.
Saturday mornings.
He was working for Trump, and he wanted to help him out in some kind of phrase. He used to say, I'm working for Trump, and you haven't heard from him in a long time.
By the way, new affirm of the Spark in the chat room says, Bruce, we say, what's with that guy?
I don't know. Good question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a good question, isn't it, Easy G?
Yeah.
Is he AI? Hashtag?
Hey,
Bruce?
not change something, but
Mhm.
I sent you that letter. Oh my God! I sent you that story about Donald Trump. I guess I'm not surprised. You know, they kicked the can down the street for a month or who knows how long.
Yes, the grand jury is, they have been sent on a month-long break in New York, and I don't know what's going on there. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it seems like the shenanigans going on here.
Shenanigans and possibly chicanery and, might I add, tomfoolery.
Yeah, it doesn't seem kind of weird. They're taking a month off.
It does seem kind of weird. I wonder what's going on, but I don't know.
I don't know. Donald Trump, you know, he seems to get away with everything. He used to get away with everything. Just the other day, so I'm getting arrested. That didn't happen.
That's true. Well, but he only posted that to raise money, and he did. He got a cool $1.5 million just for saying he expected to be arrested on Tuesday. He raised $1.5 million. I have to tell you, Easy G, you know, I'm not a big fan of the guy, as you're aware, but I will say this. I don't blame him for doing that. I mean, if I could just post publicly that I expected to be arrested and have people give me $1.5 million within a couple of days, I'd be doing that. I'd be posting all the time. Hey, I think I'm going to get arrested, and let's get that cash rolling. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy.
It's a good business. Now, it's nice work if you can get it, Easy G.
Yeah. All right, one more quick question before I hang up.
Yeah.
What's the sense of there's no really sense of that. What happened in Nashville? Well, what's the sense of showing that person, you know, breaking into the schools? Is there any sense like showing that on TV, or we really need to see that?
I think the more information we have about what happened, the more people can form opinions about what can be done to prevent such things. I mean,
I went like 2 minutes of it. I said I got to turn that channel. I said I don't really need to see that, you know.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
It's in my head, though, you know.
Sure. I don't blame you, but, you know, it is in the public interest, I think, to show that for people who do want to see it. Because, again, you know, we have an ongoing discussion in this country, especially every time there's a school shooting, obviously, about what to do and how to prevent these things. And so there's a lot of analysis that goes into that. So I think it is appropriate to show that, but I completely understand and respect that you don't want to see it.
I tried to limit myself to, I watched a little bit the other day. I was like, okay, I got to put this off, you know.
Yeah.
I try to limit myself to all that bad news, because once it's in your head, you know, it's in your head, and then it kind of evaporates, I guess, when you hear all the news. You know, your brain can only, my brain only can comprehend so much bad news at once.
Yes.
I mean, I was trying to we're watching the program the other day, so, you know, if you have trouble falling asleep, it said don't play with your phone a lot before bed, and don't watch a lot of TV before bed. I mean, I have, you know, it's a good advice, because the all that blue light and keeps your brain alert.
You know what I'm going to do for you, Easy G? I think at the top of the hour, I'm going to play "Bad News" by Amanda McCarthy, just for you. Speaking of bad news.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
She's got that song "Bad News," and then we're going to play some. We've got Slim Volume coming in the second hour. We're going to play some Slim Volume and talk to those guys as well.
You got a lot of great musical talent coming on the show. It's great. It gives them to get their name out there, you know?
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Jenny's been doing the booking, and she's doing a great job.
All right. Well, talk to you tomorrow. Great job.
All right. Well, that was our friend Easy G.
You should have known by now. Easy dope.
That does open up the line for you. 603-250-6007. 603-250-6007. Scott Robinson says, if Easy can see that, wait till I see what I'm going to do in the ring. Oh, that's right. Yes. That's right. JFed says, I hear you can disable AI with more horn. Is that true? I don't know. I'm skeptical. It makes everybody happy, though. The air horn's a big hit around here. I know that. New Affirm says, we say... Sorry. There's even more horn. And a rooster. Hey, how about that? You see what you unveiled? What you unveiled? You see what you unleashed, J-Fed, with the horn? Wanting some horn? You end up with some rooster thrown in. There you go. Well, you live on a farm, right? So you probably hear that every day. You probably wake up every day and hear that, right? All right. That was Rooster versus Air Horn, the trap version. Yes, and New Affirm says, we heard that horn, we said. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you did, New Affirm. Let's see. All right. Oh, wow, it's already quarter of. 603-250-6007 if you want to get in with the call. 603-250-6007. So just a little bit more here on this subject, this article from Reuters about AI. So Gary Marcus, who's a professor at New York University, he signed the letter and said, quote, the letter isn't perfect, but the spirit is right. We need to slow down until we better understand the ramifications. The big players are becoming increasingly secretive about what they're doing, what makes it hard for society to defend against whatever harms may materialize, unquote. Since its release last year, OpenAI's ChatGPT has prompted rivals to accelerate developing similar large language models, and companies, including Alphabet Inc., are racing to steep their products in AI. Investors wary of relying on a single company are embracing competitors to OpenAI. Microsoft declined to comment on the letter, and Alphabet did not respond to calls and emails for a comment. A professor... Should I try this? Wow, that's a long name. A professor at Brown University and former assistant director in the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, Suresh Venkadasubramanian. Nailed it. That sounded right, no? That's a really long name. It starts with a V. That's the longest name I've ever seen that starts with a V for a last name. Venkadasubramanian. I think that was the correct way. I think I got it the second time. Said this, quote, a lot of power to develop these systems has been constantly in the hands of new companies that have the resources to do it. That's how these models are. They're hard to build and they're hard to democratize, unquote. So there you go. So that's the story about the letter. JFed says, I'm outside filling the ice tub and our rooster named Roosevelt is cackling. Wow. See? And New Affirm says, we say Bruce thinks he's like a OCB detective, and we say, who do you think he is? A wise guy. That's right. Take that, Bruce. All right. 603-250-6007 is the number if you'd like to join us. 603-250-6007. Oh, my goodness. There's a new story on Mediaite about Tucker Carlson and some of his text messages. And apparently he uses some very salty language. I don't know if we're going to talk about that right now necessarily, but wow. Eric Street joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, yo. And New Affirm says, a good afternoon show, hashtag Matt Connerton. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's, we only have a few minutes before we hit the top of the hour. Hey, let's do this quickly. So there's news, or somewhat of a lack thereof, of progress about the debt ceiling. And if you're a regular listener, you know this is a subject that I am very focused on, and the importance of raising the debt ceiling on schedule. I happen to see this. This is, and by the way, there apparently is no progress, and we might get to that I don't think we're going to get to that part of it today. But I wanted to look at this quickly because this is just kind of an interesting little wrinkle. Texas Republican, this is from thehill.com. Texas Republican threatens to vote no on debt ceiling if GOP brings up, quote, unchristian anti-immigrant bills, unquote. This is interesting. So this particular Texas Republican is kind of standing up to his own party on this. Not necessarily the hill I would die on because it does involve the debt ceiling, and I think it's important to raise it. But let's look at this, just because this is kind of a unique instance here. It says Representative Tony Gonzalez, Republican of Texas, today threatened to vote no on any effort to raise the debt ceiling if the GOP brings, quote, unchristian, anti-immigrant, unquote, bills to the floor. Gonzalez, who represents more than 40% of the U.S.-Mexico border, tweeted this, quote, bring unchristian, anti-immigrant bills to the floor, and I am a no on the debt ceiling, unquote. Gonzalez emphasized that any border security legislation cannot, quote, strip away the few legal routes that we have for migrants to enter the U.S. It is pure chaos along the border in my district, unquote, he told reporters on Wednesday, quote, I don't have time to play political games, so I've been very clear where I stand on things, and I want a border security package, border security bill that does not attack legal routes for people to come over and isn't unchristian, unquote. It's an interesting angle. The Texas Republican helped upend the GOP's last attempt at border legislation and recently said the party still has a long way to go to secure his support on their latest effort at a border package. Gonzalez, noting Republicans' narrow majority in the House, said, quote, if they try to jam them through, they're going to fail on the floor, so probably best to get it fixed out ahead of time than see it go down in burning flames on the House floor, unquote. So I thought that was interesting, but while we're on the subject, so we do have time. No progress on this, on the debt ceiling. This is from CNBC.com. As McCarthy laments no progress, here's where the U.S. debt ceiling talks stand. Some key points. We've made no progress on debt ceiling talks, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said. Quote, I'm always an optimist. I'm not now, unquote. That doesn't sound good. Congress periodically needs to lift the debt limit, the maximum amount the federal government is allowed to borrow to cover spending obligations. House Republicans have refused to lift the ceiling without promises of spending cuts. The White House has taken the position that the spending cuts need to be made. It will not negotiate on the debt ceiling itself and expects Republicans to lift the limit. Here's a little more detail on where we are and where we're not, and this is really distressing. This is not good. It says here, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said yesterday that there has been no progress in debt ceiling negotiations between the House Republicans and the White House as the U.S. inches closer to risking a first-ever default. He said on CNBC's Squawk Box, quote, we've made no progress. I'm always an optimist. I'm not now, unquote. Congress periodically needs to lift the debt limit, the maximum amount the federal government is allowed to borrow to cover spending obligations. The government often spends more money than it takes in from taxes, resulting in the deficit. House Republicans have refused to lift the debt ceiling without promises of spending cuts. McCarthy said in the interview, quote, time is ticking. Now I'm very concerned about where we are, unquote. The U.S. has already hit its debt limit, forcing the Treasury to take so-called extraordinary measures to keep paying its bills. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimated the administration will exhaust its emergency tools sometime this summer. And that's why, by the way, you know, in news stories, you see and you hear a lot about, June, July, around there. That's when this needs to get resolved because we've already gone past the limit. We're now in the extraordinary measures phase, but that will eventually, there will be no more extraordinary measures left to exhaust on this. And that's frightening. That would lead to a first ever default in our nation's history. The White House has taken the position that while spending cuts need to be made, it will not negotiate on the debt ceiling and expects Republicans to lift the limit. Democrats argue that the GOP has only made the borrowing limit an issue when a Democratic president is in power. Well, that's true. I mean, that's generally true. Republicans only care about debts and deficit when there's a Democrat in the White House. When there's a Republican in the White House, they just don't care. I've heard Republicans acknowledge that. They point to the multiple times Republicans authorized debt ceiling increases under former President Donald Trump while authorizing new spending and tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans. Although, again, as I've pointed out, something, I'm not a big Trump fan, as you know, but one thing that I do give Trump credit for, it never even came up when he was president, because he told Republicans, we're not negotiating on the debt limit. We will not use that as a negotiating tool as it has been used in the recent past. My administration isn't doing that. It's too dangerous. It's foolish. It's reckless. It's stupid. And I remember Steve Mnuchin making the rounds on the Sunday morning talk shows saying, yeah, the president will not allow us to negotiate using the debt limit as a negotiating tool in the budget. That is off the table. So that was a good thing. That was something Trump was correct about. It says here, it has been nearly 2 months since McCarthy and Biden met to discuss debt ceiling measures. McCarthy, in a letter to Biden on Tuesday morning, said action is needed and called the non-negotiation position extreme. McCarthy said he is prepared to continue discussions. McCarthy wrote asking the White House to reach out to his team by the end of the week, saying, quote, it's time to drop the partisanship, roll up our sleeves, and find common ground on this urgent challenge, unquote. The spending cuts Republicans want remain murky. Remember, McCarthy's in a tough spot. Not that I have any sympathy for the guy, but he is in a very tough spot with the House Freedom Caucus, and he had to give away most of his power just to become speaker, just to get them behind him. And, some of these people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and, they would actually rather default. They think it would be a great thing. I mean, they openly speak about it. So this is tough. Republicans balked at allegations that they are seeking to cut funding to programs such as Social Security and Medicare, leaving little else to adjust. In his letter Tuesday, McCarthy proposed reducing non-defense spending to pre-inflationary levels, reclaiming unspent coronavirus relief funds, and strengthening entitlement work requirements for individuals without dependents. Biden released his budget earlier this month, which called for a 25% minimum tax on the richest Americans, among other levies, to cut the deficit by $3 trillion over the next decade. The president has asked House Republicans to release a budget as well and negotiate spending cuts from there, but they have yet to do so. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a response to McCarthy on Tuesday, quote, it's time for Republicans to stop playing games, agree to pass a clean debt ceiling bill, and quit threatening to wreak havoc on our economy. And if they want to have a conversation about our nation's economic and fiscal future, it's time for them to put out a budget, unquote. Well, that is true. They haven't put out a budget. I will say, though, this game of chicken is not, look, she's right and the administration is right. They should pass a clean debt limit bill, or better yet, they should pass a bill that says, hey, it's time to just end the debt limit so we don't have to keep going through this. Because even flirting with default is terrible for our economy, right? So nothing good comes from it. However, having said that, again, the House Freedom Caucus, you've got people who are willing to let it all burn down and go ahead and default. So we're playing. You're playing chicken with people who don't necessarily mind a head-on collision and are willing to steer directly into it. It says here, not lifting the debt ceiling would have catastrophic effects on the U.S. economy, actually the world economy, ultimately. Failure to do so would halt daily operations within the federal government and potentially royal markets and the broader economy. A Moody's Analytics report last year found a default on Treasury bonds could throw the U.S. economy into a tailspin as bad as the Great Recession. If the U.S. were to default, gross domestic product would drop 4%, and 6 million workers would lose their jobs, according to the Moody's estimate. So, yikes. I'm concerned. Okay, so we're approaching the top of the hour. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play a couple songs. I'm going to go ahead and play that Bad News I said I was going to play by the great Amanda McCarthy for our friend Easy G. And then we'll show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we'll bring our guests in Slim Volume, who are probably in the building. They're probably out in the hallway. And then we'll see what they want to open with. They've got a bunch of great songs. So, we'll chat, we'll play some of their music, we'll have a good time. I'm really looking forward to meeting these guys. They have a great sound. Very, very cool. So there is much to come on today's Matt Connerton Unleashed, but wait, is that the song? Sorry, I was looking for Amanda McCarthy's Bad News, and I think Bad News, Amanda McCarthy. Oh, that's the live version. That's not what I want. I want the... Okay, I think I found it. All right, here we go. All right, here it is. Bad News, Amanda McCarthy. Don't go away. Plenty more to come. This isn't the song. I don't know why I can't find it. This is a different song. But it's Amanda McCarthy. This is called Prologue. I don't think I've heard this. We'll listen to this instead. Here it is. This is for you, Easy G. It's not the song you wanted. But it's Amanda McCarthy, so I think you'll like it. All right, don't go away.
Said I trust her, try to keep an open mind, but I'm filled with gut feeling, my insides are
on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
You've got cold hands, but you've got a warm heart. And I've been wondering if it's gonna cool off. Oh, I dream about you all day long. We've come a long way since having a short start. I've been flipped over, mixed up and spread out. Ooh, I think you can put me back together. Love me to pieces, honey, if you please. But keep me together if we're better apart.
Oh, that is nice. I love it. That is Puzzles from Slim Volume, and we've got a couple of the guys from the band here with us in studio, and we're going to talk to them in just a moment. This is Matt Connerton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Wednesday, March 29, 2023, and we've got two of the guys from Slim Volume here. Hello, welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
And we will, as is tradition, we'll start at the news desk. Sir, if you could introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the band.
Yeah, Trent Larrabee. I play guitar and sing.
All right, nice to meet you, Trent. And you, sir?
Yeah, I'm Jake DeShootnier. I also sing and I play bass.
Very good. Fellow bass player. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. So we've got you're a 4-piece, right?
That's right.
So you are one half of Slim Volume. So yeah, you guys have a great sound. I really like it a lot, and it's kind of unique for this area. I think you're from around here, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't hear a lot of bands that I can't think of anybody in the area that quite sounds like you guys. I mean, obviously, you know, there's many genres that are represented in the local music scene in this area, but you guys have something. I can't, you know, like a lot of bands come in, I can think, okay, they kind of sound like, they remind me of so and so, but you guys don't remind me of anybody specific, which is really cool. I don't know if that's something you hear a lot, like you guys are unique, or.
Well, I definitely take that as a compliment. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we draw from a lot of the same influences that the two of us have had going back for a lot of years. So there's obviously some classic rock in there. There's a little bit of country and folk going on in there. But yeah, I take that as a compliment as well. That it could sound unique or not like sort of everything else.
Yeah. And we're gonna play some more of your music in a bit. And I noticed too, you know, the songs. There's a cohesion, like they all sound like the same band, but they don't sound the same necessarily in terms of like you can tell the mix of influences. Let me put it that way.
Sure.
Among the band. So do you guys all write together, or?
Yeah, Jake and I write independently, but we also write together. And with the other two members, Mike and Johnny. Sorry, you guys can't be here. Yeah, we write as a 4-piece too. So that's been interesting.
There's a good mix. The songs that we have picked today were more what Trent said at first, where it's one of us kind of wrote it mostly solo originally and then kind of took it to the band, and little things are added here or there, details, things are tweaked. Newer material that's yet to be released that we're working on recording. I think some of that's where we've gotten more purely collaborative as a group and really written music together and seen more of that kind of melding of ideas.
Has it always been the four of you? Same?
No, actually. I've played in a couple different groups in town, and Jake and I got together, I don't know, a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, but we met Mike at Strange Brew. He was doing the open mic down there maybe a year ago, 18 months ago, and then Johnny shortly after. So Slim Volume has only really been a group for a little over a year.
Oh, okay. Wow.
We originally, Trent and I started playing together to record a solo album that Trent was putting together called Billions of Musics, also available on Spotify.
Oh.
Under Trent Larrabee. And I played bass and sang some harmonies on that, and from there we realized, okay, this could be like something to kind of continue to pursue, this sound, this kind of like
Jake had too much material to not try to do something collaboratively.
Yeah, that makes sense. New Affirm of the Spark, our friends from Greensboro, North Carolina, they say in the chat room, we say awesome song. So you're getting some love. And New Affirm says, Slim Volume, we say. Hello there. Jacinta Barron in the chat room says, awesome sound. She's definitely digging you guys. J-Fed, our friend from, and by the way, he asks this of absolutely every musical guest. He says, do you play birthday parties looking for a September birthday?
Oh, yeah, we do birthday parties, weddings, basements.
Now, he is in Vermont, so a little bit of a haul.
Yeah, we're just get in touch.
We're looking to expand into the Vermont market for sure.
There you go.
No, we do it all. That's really not hyperbole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually played a few weddings, and yeah, we do a little bit of everything.
New Affirm has a question. We say hashtag Slim Volume. They really like the hashtags in Greensboro. We say hashtag Slim Volume. Who are your influences of recording artists? You guys sound like you have I bet it's a long list.
It is a long list.
Yeah.
It's hard to not go immediately to, like, for me, Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
As a recording artist, Jimi Hendrix behind me there on the wall is a huge influence of mine. But I mean, there's loads of more contemporary artists too. Honestly, one of the biggest influences for me was the local Manchester music scene.
Yeah.
When I started playing out around here. And was really inspired by a lot of the local bands here. But yeah, classic rock, just to throw a few out there. I think that Jake and I both share would be like Wilco, Pavement, Sonic Youth.
Yeah, and then it's the big one, but it bears saying is the Beatles.
Yeah.
Is like we kind of started playing together because we realized we had a shared love of their music and that we liked to sing harmonies together, which not everybody wants to do and not everybody
can.
Sure, or really like has sort of even the interest.
Right.
And the Beatles do that, and Beach Boys, stuff like that. Like definitely any band that incorporates some of that vocal harmony aspect is part of like our general interest for sure.
Are the harmonies on the songs, are they all four of you or just the two of you, or how does that work?
Well,
that one's primarily just the two of us. The one we just heard is just the two of us, I think.
Just the two of us, yeah. I think Mike is yet to record on anything. But, for It's Been Sweet, which we'll hear later, there's some stacked harmonies, but that's just Jake and I having fun.
Yeah. Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont joins us and says, hey, guys, we have another Vermonter there.
Hello.
Miriam Banish says, good afternoon. Been listening, but forgot to pop into the chat room. New Affirm says, here we go. Bear with us here. New Affirm says, we say hashtag Slim Volume. What are your favorite Savage Garden songs?
Truly, madly, deeply, of course.
There you go.
Come on.
That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah. Or I Knew I Loved You Before I Met You.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
That's also beautiful.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
He stumped me.
I had two ready.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I spent a lot of last night prepping on Savage Garden. I thought you might try to get a fastball past me.
That's right. Well done. Well played, sir. Now, where do you guys record? Because I'm amazed at we live in an era where there's a lot of options as far as recording, and especially lately, a lot of the musicians I talk to, they talk about recording on their own, recording some tracks, emailing tracks back and forth, this and that, because there was a time when you had to go and go to $1 million studio and spend lots of money. And today we have so many different options of how to record, and you can record in your living room and get a great sound. I mean, but everything I've heard from you guys, it sounds great. So you've got that recording studio sound, but how do you record?
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's so quick shout out to Matt Bacon who's listening. He played drums on Puzzles.
Okay.
He's in a local band called Happy Just to See You. Also plays with Jake McKelvey and the Countertops.
Oh, okay.
And a couple other groups. But so we would recruit some drummers to play on some of our earlier recordings. We'd go somewhere to get a drum sound, either a friend who had a really good setup or like a studio, take the drum tracks and then record all the guitars, bass, auxiliary, vocals at home.
Okay.
Then bring it back to a studio to mix it and kind of like produce it, in a way that's professional, and then send it out for mastering, because the mixing is where it kind of loses me. But I can put a couple mics out and get a good sound and play around. And it's tough in a studio too, because, time is, it's just ticking, and it's like money signs.
Yep.
So another shout out to Blackheart Sound in town here up the street behind the Music Mill. Eric Sauter. So he's mixed everything that we're hearing today.
Okay.
And then we've been going to Derek Blackburn, who's at Quiet House. That's in, I think, Bedford, Mass. And he's been mastering stuff for us. So
excellent.
So it's a combination of studio and home recording a little bit.
By the way, Matt Bacon just joined us in the Facebook Live chat.
All right.
He says, didn't realize there was a video stream. Very cool. Keep on rocking, Slim Volume. Nice. Yeah, I think I've heard his name before. And Eric Sauter is a name I've definitely heard a lot around here. So
They're two of the greats.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. When you do it that way, where you're recording the tracks elsewhere and bringing them into mix, because I played in a bunch of bands, but I never in a recording situation quite like that. I feel like with the pandemic though, people got used to kind of doing it that way. The way so many of the artists that I interview do it now, the way that you described the way you guys record. Does anything ever go wrong with that, where a track that was recorded, you bring it in and there's something's not right?
I'd say we've gotten pretty good at eliminating those types of issues.
That's good.
Yeah, because when that happens, especially when you're on studio time, it's like it's a dreadful feeling. So we avoid that as much as possible. But
well,
go ahead.
It also is going to say that as long as you get, I've found that as long as you get a good recording of the drums that is easy enough to record other things to later, the rest falls into place and is easy enough for us to manipulate. Like if there's a mistake on bass, it's all right, I'll just do another bass take, or same with guitar or a vocal thing. And that's part of the luxury of the fact that we do a lot of it ourselves, is that when we go in to do vocals, for example, we'll take our time and get the take we really want. But I think in terms of drums, we've been, lucky to play with some really good drummers who get the songs and learn them quick and then record really solid takes of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you've never been in a situation where you've started with something else, right? It's always been the drums.
Yeah.
It's usually the first thing that we'll get the final recording of. Okay. So we'll play along with the drummer during that part of the recording process. But
okay.
Yeah. For listeners who are more interested, this process has worked really well for us. So we'll go in, we'll live track. So I'll be on my guitar, Jake on bass. We'll do some scratch vocals. But really all we're going for is the drums. If the bass sounds good, we'll keep it. But if not, we'll just do everything else afterwards.
Well, I was going to say, doing it that way, there must be instances, right, where you go, well, wait a minute, actually, we're just doing drums, but geez, this bass track sounds pretty good. I don't know if we, and when you're in that situation, do you want to risk doing that part over if you got a really good take?
Yeah, in fact, I think
that just happened.
Yeah, it just happened.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, when we were recording over the weekend a new song that will be released probably later this year. We were trying to just get the drums, but when we listened back, it was like a good bass take, and no one had a problem with it, so I think we're going to probably keep it. But stuff like that happens all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, when bands were more limited in what they could do as far as options before we had all the technology that we have now, you read stories and hear stories about bands that, they went in and they recorded a demo, and then the demo ends up being the version that ends up on the album because they did the demo and they were like, geez, I don't think we can replicate this. It came out so well,
Sure.
It's funny, and that happens a lot, where sort of like the first take is like the best. It's like this idea of first take, best take, kind of.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a line where overproduction becomes the problem.
Right.
So to capture it in sort of its raw, sort of like the highest excitement, which is kind of like one of those early takes, before you're kind of burnt out on it.
Oh, yeah.
It can be easy to get attached to demos too, in my experience, because a lot of the way songs get started is just strumming a guitar and humming or singing a couple words that sound good over it into your voice memo app or something like that, or making a quick and dirty demo in GarageBand or something, and then sometimes you end up happy little accidents happen in that process.
Yep.
Where either you keep it or you can never quite recreate the kind of magic of that exact recording just because it's too specific.
Right. No doubt. Slim, I'm sorry, new, you guys are Slim Volume. New Affirm of the Spark in the chat room says, we say hashtag Slim Volume. What was your favorite Beach Boys song?
Ooh.
Two come immediately to mind.
Go
it's
ahead.
Either Surfer Girl or is it I Get Around or Get Around?
I Get Around.
I Get Around, yeah.
Surfer Girl's our favorite one to play.
Oh, you guys play that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hard to answer what my favorite Beach Boys song is. One of them that comes to mind is "I Guess I Just Wasn't Made for These Times."
Oh,
which is on Pet Sounds. Yep, it has a theremin in it. It's a really really cool song. Yeah.
And New Affirm also says, we say hashtag slim volume. Will you be on the road to travel places? Again, New Affirm phrases everything awkwardly, but it actually,
okay.
but there's a good question in that. Do you guys, you were talking about expanding into Vermont and whatnot. I mean, do you guys get out of New Hampshire a lot? I know you play a lot of shows.
I think, with prior groups, I've played kind of around the New England area. With this group, we're trying to, build those connections because we're kind of starting from scratch. So yeah, I mean, if anyone has connections, if New Affirm has connections in North Carolina, definitely let us know. Asheville is totally on the list. We got a friend out there. I mean, we got contacts here and there, but I think one of the big things was kind of establishing ourselves locally.
Yeah,
building a little fan base here, releasing some music before we try to, approach, a Boston or Portland.
Yeah. Oh,
although we do have our debut Boston show.
Yes, we do
on April 20th. With the aforementioned Jake McKelvey and the Countertops featuring Matt Bacon.
Yes.
Drummer
cool.
on Puzzles.
Oh,
there you go.
Very good. Very good.
Connecting it all.
There you go. Where is that going to be?
That is at Notch Brewing, which is in Brighton.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Let's see. Well, let's play another track.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you guys pick. What do you think we should go with next?
Yeah, Surf Song. Let's play Surf Song.
Surf Song. All right. Very cool. All right. So, I've got it loaded up here. Surf Song. We have Slim Volume here, or half of Slim Volume here in studio with us, and we're going to listen to this, and then we'll come back and chat some more. Here it is. Surf Song, Slim Volume.
Someone I don't know. It sure feels like I know you well. Don't run away. Don't run away. I have all the pieces. Oh, don't run away. I've just been playing the wrong games. Your touch is the sun. Your smile is my song. I know I have learned how much sun to take until I get burned. Don't run away. How can tomorrow seem so far away? When after all, tomorrow is just another yesterday. Your words are like honey, honey. Your smile is my soul.
Awesome. That is Surf Song, and the band is Slim Volume. We have Jake and Trent from the band Slim Volume here in studio with us. And if you have anything for the guys, if you have any questions or feedback or anything at all, 603-250-6007 is the studio line, 603-250-6007. By the way, J-Fed in the chat says, remember the birthday party in Vermont. He says, if you played at the birthday party, that would be awesome. Would you get in the ice bath? that would also be awesome and rad. He's an ice bath guy.
Yeah, we're Wim Hof guys, so we're down with the ice bath.
Yeah, you're down with the ice bath, huh?
Yeah.
Our guitar player Mike was talking about an ice bath just the other day. I don't remember.
For real?
Yeah.
No kidding.
I mean, he was bringing it up.
He wanted to get one.
He wanted to buy one, yeah. So maybe this will be a good trial run.
This might be fate.
Yeah, before he makes the commitment, to
Yeah.
his own ice bath.
See, personally, I'm terrified by the idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hypothermia, things like that. Yeah, it scares
That's a fair
me.
concern.
It is, yeah. And then I just don't like to be cold.
There you go. That's 0 for 2.
Yeah, exactly. So I have thus far declined any ice bath invitations. But let's see. I think Matt Bacon had a question. Question for Jake. What's the dream bass amp combo?
Oh, man. Matt, I'm going to let you down because I'm so not a gear person at all. I don't know. When we play out, I'll play through Trent's Fender Cab a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that's about as much as I know.
Yeah.
Because I just am like, I don't know. I've observed that within the world of music and playing out in like different bands and stuff, there's people who like get gear and care about gear, and people who do the bare minimum to scrape by and kind of fake it. And I sadly am in the latter camp. So I don't really know. Trent, do you have an answer for that?
You and I are birds of a feather, my friend.
Are we? Okay.
Well, I'm also a bass player, and I'm the same way. I never cared. I plug in.
Yeah.
It goes, makes loud noise.
Exactly.
I care about what I play. Like I was always kind of an Ibanez guy. I like Ibanez, but the amp, I have the same attitude as you. I'm not a gear guy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I almost wish I could care more because it would help me out a lot. Because I could answer questions like this, but
right.
But here we are. Sorry, Matt.
Well, Trent, you had something on that?
Oh no, not really. Just
okay.
The big the 610. It's a Ampeg SVT, I think, something like that. That always sounds good.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
There you go. New Affirm says, we say if you guys perform in Greensboro, North Carolina, and we say please do.
Okay, please. We say please email us.
There you go.
And we'll make it happen.
There you go. Well, the Boston show that's coming up, will that be your first show out of state with this band?
That's a really good question.
So I think so.
Yeah. Yes, I think it will because we've played in Portsmouth, but that's in state.
Out of state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it feels out of state sometimes, right on the border.
Yeah. Do you guys have any bands? Are there any bands in the scene when you play out that you team up with a lot?
There used to be. I played in a group called Something Something. This is kind of like pre-COVID. But happy just to see the band I mentioned before. They've kind of been like my longest friends in the scene.
Yeah.
The dudes in that band I've known the whole time I've lived here, which is almost 10 years. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said before, I mean, Slim Volume's kind of just starting from scratch. So we don't really have like that band teammate kind of thing yet.
Yeah.
The roster.
It's being established.
Yeah. Do you guys do any? You did mention you do some. What do you guys do for covers?
Oh boy.
Is there are there a lot that you guys do?
So Jake and I will do like duo gigs and
okay,
breweries or pubs and stuff like that. Which are like 3-hour slots.
Yeah.
Which require a lot of covers, but. Just to rattle a few off, like Neil Young. We do a lot of Beatles. We'll do
some Tom Petty.
Yeah, a little Petty. Some like 90s and early 2000s stuff.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
It depends on the gig and kind of the vibe we're going for at a given place. But for a lot of those longer duo gigs, we try to learn covers that will have kind of a broad appeal for the most part. One of I would say the most interesting cover in my mind that we have done for a long time, just in terms of the history and how it relates to like our band, is Sin City by the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Yeah.
A song I assume it was written by Graham Parsons. That was his band in the 60s before he went solo. And the reason I say it relates to our band is that Graham Parsons kind of coined the phrase cosmic American music, which relates to the kind of melding of folk and country and rock that was going on with bands like the Byrds or Buffalo Springfield and stuff like that in the late 60s, early 70s, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And we've drawn a lot of influence from that sound and that kind of like attitude. And Graham Parsons just in general is like an interesting musical figure. So that's a cover. It's a long answer to say we play Sin City by the Flying Burrito Brothers, but that's one of my favorites that we do.
If I can add, I think maybe our most unexpected and hottest cover is Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
Which I just love playing. Although I should also amend that and say Dream is what it's called, right? By the Everly Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't even know the song before Jake showed it to me. But everywhere we've played that seems to turn the most heads and get most people nodding, like all generations. Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
But
everybody loves that song.
Yeah. When you do a song like Sin City, are there people who maybe they don't know it's necessarily a cover?
Definitely.
That could be.
But
yeah.
Well, there'll also be like one or two guys who are kind of mouthing along.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes both ways.
It's one of those kind of semi-deep cuts that if you're in the crowd or if you're at the wherever we're playing the venue and you hear it and you know it, I would be pumped because like you don't hear people play, a song like that. It's a little bit of like a deep cut. So when people don't always know it.
Yeah.
But when they do, they really are happy to hear someone playing a song like that.
Yeah.
And just to kind of build off that is, a song like Puzzles, the first one we played, that's an example of a song that was, I mean, it's an original song, but it's definitely crafted to be approachable to all audiences.
Yeah.
Knowing, that we do a lot of these types of gigs, it's good to have original songs that are also, we might play an original song and people might think it's a cover.
Right.
Because it just kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. The songs that we're playing today, are these part of an album or are these all standalone singles, or is there a long-term plan to do an album? Or
yeah, I mean, these are all standalone singles. The idea being to have a consistent release strategy rather than, spend a year making an album,
right,
and then kind of dropping it. So yeah, we're just doing all these singles. Plus we just have such a backlog of material. It's just going back to the recording discussion, it's just an approachable way to get music out. So
yeah,
that's
something I've noticed lately too. A lot of the bands I talk to, it's that seems to be the approach, put out singles, but they'll and then ultimately collect them into sort of call them into an album.
Yeah.
We have some ideas because we have somewhere in the ballpark of like 4 to 5, 6, 7 songs that are like in the works now, kind of like in somewhere in the process of completely written and ready to be recorded, all the way up to completely recorded, just needs to be mixed and mastered.
Yeah.
And by the end of summer, early fall, I think it would be cool to put those together into some form of an EP or something. But until then, we've been doing the singles approach.
Yeah. I didn't look. Do you have any videos? Have you guys made any videos or?
Yeah. So Puzzles, we did a video for, with a friend of ours, Eric Walker, who his business or handle name is Sounded Out Films.
Okay.
He does a lot of music videos. Incredible work. Anyone listening, go to Sounded Out Films on YouTube. But Puzzles is there, and he did an incredible job turning nothing into something because we didn't really have an idea for it. It was just a song that we wanted to do, and it's just kind of aesthetically pleasing. It's almost more like a live performance video, but
he made some cool behind the scenes content too on his personal or his channel on YouTube also. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
That was an interesting process that I, had never been a part of. But filming a music video it's pretty interesting. How many times you play the same song or pretend to play the same song.
Yeah.
How did you connect with him? Did he approach you? Did you approach him?
No,
or?
So he's just someone I've known. He used to play in a band called The Color Orange they were more based out of Keene, I think, but they practiced in the same mill space as us down there.
Okay.
I'm pointing for the listeners out the window to the mill yard. So I've just known him for a long time and always really admired his work. So he was just number one on the list when it's music video time. He's the guy.
Yeah. Wow. You guys practice at Morgan's? Is that where you rehearse? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, we've been just playing at my place now, just on like an acoustic drum kit, kind of like a low volume setting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the space that Morgan's is kind of the backup.
Yeah, I know it. I know that building very well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How many times have you been locked out with your key card not working?
Never. I had good luck with that, but I heard about that happening to other people.
Yeah.
Because, well, from what I remember, it's been a long time, but from what I remember, if it wouldn't work at one door, I would go and try it at another door and it would work.
Right.
So because I do remember that being a problem, but I would never actually get locked out. I would just have to try, because I think there's 2 doors with or maybe even 3 with the fob.
Yeah, run around the building. Hopefully someone comes out.
Yeah.
And catch the door for you. Yeah.
Good times.
Oh yeah.
Are there still? I'm sure there's always. I haven't been in there in a while. Is there a lot of bands in there still? Like when you just walk in. Hear a lot
it's. I think it's like a rite of passage almost for the scene is to have a practice space down there.
I think you're right. Well, let's play another song. What do you guys want to? What should we do next?
I think maybe It's Been Sweet.
You want to do that one next?
Yeah, It's Been Sweet. This track. Well, maybe Jake wants to tee it up, but
sure. It's a song that we've not released yet, but is our next single to come out.
Okay.
And yeah, so that it'll be out, I think, in the next month or sometime. So this is an exclusive
first listen.
Sneak peek.
Nice. We like the world premieres here. Absolutely. All right, very good. So here it is for the first time. This is It's Been Sweet from Slim Volume. Wow, that is It's Been Sweet by Slim Volume, and we have Jake and Trent here in the studio with us today. Jake, is that you on lead vocals?
That's me, yeah.
Katie Massacoris, although we know her around here as Katie from the morning show, is in the chat room. And
big friend of the band.
Yeah.
We love Katie.
Yep, she says, hey guys, love my guys. And she was asking if that was, or somebody asked if that was you. It must have been her that asked if that was you on lead vocals on that.
I should say it's me on singing lead, but backed up immensely by Trent in all across the song with harmonies.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds. Oh, okay. It was Matt Bacon who asked that.
Okay.
He said, "Dude, is that Jake on lead vocals?
Yeah,
sounds
dude.
Excellent."
Yes, it is.
Yeah. That is. That's a sad song.
Thanks.
Is that?
Yeah.
Is that about losing somebody?
Yeah, that's a song about a death that I experienced in my life in the last little over a year.
Oh, wow.
A close family member died. So it's about, really it came out of the process of what you experience when you are alongside someone who's dying, when you're near them. And I remember one of the biggest lessons that I learned during that time is that a big part of the reason you're there is to give them permission to kind of move on, give them the permission to, it's all right to leave. That's where that lyric comes from.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not to be too much of a downer, but yes, that's a death song.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I got from it when I listened to it.
Okay.
The first time it was like, wow. Yeah, you communicate well in the lyrics what it's about.
Thank you.
In the sense that what you explained is how I took it.
Yeah.
When I was listening to it, the part about it's okay to leave now.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
I appreciate that. It's one of those ones where and Trent I think has had this experience before. Like sometimes songwriting can be like a slog, and it takes forever to finish a song, and it's just like you can pick at it for months or even years to finally tweak it and get it right. And that's an example of one where while I was going through this experience, I sat down with the guitar and it was like pretty much there. Like I pretty much finished it in 15 minutes, which sounds like bragging, but I don't mean it that way. It just was like suddenly coming out.
Yeah.
Is like the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
It's a special song. I remember him sending me the take, like his first take of it, and literally just sitting down and listening to it and like probably welling up a little, knowing what he went through and just being like, damn.
Yeah.
Like he nailed that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. No, it is. That's a great song. Yeah. Katie said in the chat, just awesome. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Jenny said just awesome. Katie said beautiful tribute. I'm blown away. New Affirm says we love this song. Yeah. No, that is.
Thanks so much to everybody.
But you know what? You know what? Somber as the tone is, there's so much, I think, just joy and love and excitement put into the recording of it that I hope that also comes across, because I think you nailed the somber tone, but it's really, I think, supposed to be uplifting also, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not supposed to be just sad, I suppose. And I think the way it's recorded, it comes across like at the end there, like the big kind of swell of all the instruments where there's piano going on. Trent played an incredible harmonica part at the beginning and end, and an incredible lead guitar part. We had my brother play drums on that one, my brother Matt, it fell together in a way I'm really proud of, and I'm glad that we have it as a track for the band now.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Getting a lot of love on that one in the chat room.
That's really nice to hear.
Absolutely. You said you wrote that on the guitar, so you also play guitar?
Yeah, I play guitar, just, competently enough basically to write stuff.
Yeah.
I took lessons when I was a kid and stuff, and for me it is primarily like a vessel to write songs and kind of, especially within the context of this band where I've taken on bass. I don't play guitar as much anymore, individually. I certainly don't ever play it out, like at gigs or anything like that. But yeah, I can get by. Not as well as Trent or Mike, who are really excellent guitar players and whose skills I'm jealous of. But I'm lucky enough to be in a band with them. So
yeah, that's very cool. Do you play that song live?
Yeah.
Is it? how do I put it? Is it difficult to play that live? Do you get do you kind of get wrapped up in the emotion that because it's such a heavy?
Yeah, I didn't know how it would go the first time we tried it, and I was a little nervous to be honest, for that reason. But no, I mean, usually when we're playing out, I've got a fair amount of nerves to get over to begin with, and so usually it's that emotion that I'm contending with more than anything. It's like, oh no, am I going to mess up this, or just like don't go to the wrong chord. Basically, I'm just trying to get it right. Yeah. Sometimes it hits a little bit though. I mean, certainly I don't know how it couldn't really, but
yeah. Are there other songs that you do lead vocals on, or is that
there
is that
will be?
Trent?
There aren't any that are released as of yet.
Okay.
Well, actually, I mean, it depends. So we have another track that's out on Spotify called "Dead End Places," which is one that I would say I primarily wrote. Trent contributed aspects to it as well.
Yeah.
That one's pretty much a straight through harmony though, so we kind of sing it together.
Yeah.
But I guess you could say like technically, I guess I have a lead vocal on that one too, but it's not as pronounced or isolated as in that one.
Do you guys write with the idea of harmonies in mind when you're writing, or does that part happen organically?
Well, I think of a song we have coming up called The Ballad, which is really like our most Beatles-esque song, and that was definitely from the jump. It was like, this is going to be a great song for harmonies. We got to make them sound good. But honestly, for the most part, it's just like someone is singing the melody because they wrote the song, and the other person just kind of finds something that fits with it. I think Jake, I think Jake's much better at kind of crafting something, particularly where I feel like I'm more of just like a kind of wing it kind of guy.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes back to like, I think what we grew up listening to some extent is like, I was such a Beatles fan that there's certain harmonies they do or certain approaches they have to harmony that feel like second nature now to me because I listen to them so much. Or if you listen to stuff in the ballpark of like Graham Parsons, for example, there's always a kind of, it's like usually a 2-part harmony. Everly Brothers is a great example.
Yes.
There's a high and a low, and it's in the realm of harmony and how complicated that can get.
Yeah.
It's not the most complex approach to do just a 2-parter. But it's an effective approach, and I think it's like we don't necessarily write thinking, oh, this will have a harmony, but it's usually like step 2 or 3, probably to like when we are working a song out.
Yeah, I wanted to just add to all that is that in the live setting, the harmony becomes very powerful.
Yeah,
I think people really respond to two people singing.
Yeah.
When they kind of hear both of our voices at once, I think people are a little surprised. Like, wow, okay, cool. Which I want to plug real quick for the local listeners. Strange Brew on Friday will be playing at 8:00. So that's just down the street.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, that's
the full band or just the two of you?
Full band.
Oh, the full band.
The full band.
Yep. Cool.
And yeah, so that just circles it all back around to It's Been Sweet. I think it was debuted at Strange Brew open mic, maybe.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
It could be.
Whatever the case, it's a staple in the live repertoire.
Katie's going to be there. She said in the chat room.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, she will.
Very, very good. Very good.
Awesome.
That's how many originals do you guys have? You've got the 4 plus. You said you have another 7 in the pipeline, 7 or 8.
That's just that number was just an estimate of how many are like ready to come out almost, or like ready to be recorded.
Oh, I gotcha.
I'd say we have somewhere around 20 to 25 original songs that we'll play in our longer sets.
Oh wow, okay.
So
that's probably about it.
Yeah, pretty much Friday we'll play all of that plus a bunch of covers too.
Are you doing the full like 3 hours? 4 hours?
Well, we're actually splitting it with Off the Map, who I believe is on here tomorrow.
They're going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah. So we're splitting the bill with them, so it'll be 2 hours apiece.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, we are approaching the top of the hour, and we do have one more song to play, and we'll do that in a moment. But guys, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this conversation. And
thanks so much for having us.
Likewise.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I love your sound. I was telling Jenny, these guys have a really nice sound.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, too, I want to make sure that our listeners know where to find you online in terms of social media and all of that. Oh, and by the way, one more question before we do that. Where does the name come from, Slim Volume? I've been wondering that all day, and then I almost forgot. And then I almost forgot to ask.
It's a phrase that I would see in very small books, slim, like thin books, like books under 100 pages.
Okay.
I would see like in descriptions, like in this slim volume, you'll learn about this or you'll read about X, Y, and Z. And I always just, when I would see it, I thought that's a kind of a cool little phrase that I think could apply nicely to a band name.
That makes sense.
And when pitched to the other guys, people liked it. So
that makes sense.
It was the vibe. So please remember us at slimvolumeband.com. We get the links to all the socials on there, slim_volume on Instagram. And truly, to your listeners in Vermont, North Carolina, please get in touch, because we'll add you to our contact list, and we'll definitely make an effort to get out there, especially the birthday party. I want to do a quick shout out to my dad. Happy birthday, Dad. 67 today.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But yeah, slimvolumeband.com will get you everything you need.
Excellent. Yeah, it's who does the website? Do you guys do that in-house?
I built that. I do a little bit of that on the side. So
Cool. No, it's a nice. I'm a website geek, so I look at websites.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice website.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. All right, Slim Volume, Jake and Trent, thank you both so much.
Thanks, Matt.
And
thank you, Matt.
Absolutely, this has been great. And I will remind people, too, if you miss any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, mattconnerton.com. And we do have, and I should remind everybody too, yes, as we refer to, Off the Map will be our guest tomorrow in the second hour. So I look forward to meeting those guys and talking with them. But we will end with Cross the Line.
Correct.
That's the last one we've got here from Slim Volume. Guys, thank you again. And here it is. This is Cross the Line by Slim Volume to close out today's Matt Connerton Unleashed.
Cross the line. I know I've been around you, and I know you've been there. I was with you on the chairlift, sneaking peeks and glances, and I was with you in the car ride beneath the blue light. And I'll be with you here and now, running up your stairs, losing my breath just to be near you. And I'll say goodnight, but not without turning back once or twice. 'Cause I like your vibe, let's cross the line.